Bonjour my friends, I'm Frankie and welcome to Glove Foodie. Almost 20 years ago when David and I met, wow, time flies. He made me discover many German dishes and desserts. Besides coffee or Black Forest cake, as well as Stollen, here's another dessert that I really love. German Plum Cake, also known as Pflaumenkuchen. I hope I say it right. With nice juicy plums and a lovely sweet streusel as a topping, this yeast-based cake is so delicious. It's certainly a must-try this season. So let's get baking. In a bowl of a stand mixer, we'll add active dry yeast, some lukewarm milk, and 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. We'll give a quick stir and let the yeast proof for about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, in a bowl, we'll combine 2 cups of all-purpose flour, the remaining 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and ground sea salt. We'll whisk until the ingredients are nicely blended and set aside. Back to the stand mixer. As we can see, the yeast is alive, so we'll add a large egg and some lemon zest. Using the paddle attachment, we'll process on medium-high speed until everything is well mixed. To this, we'll add our dry ingredients, melted butter that is at room temperature, which is important, and pure vanilla extract. Switching the attachment for the dough hook, we'll process for 2 minutes on speed 2, and then increase to speed 3. This time, we'll process until the dough clings around the hook, adding a tablespoon of flour at a time. Normally, a 1/4 cup of flour is sufficient. Now, I'm telling you, the dough will be very sticky, and it's okay. So what we'll do is to grease our hands with grapeseed oil, grab the dough, and scrape off any stuck to the bottom. Next, we'll form a ball by pulling under before placing it in a lightly greased bowl. We'll toss it around to coat with the oil, cover, and transfer to a draft-free area such as the oven with, of course, the heat off. We'll let it rise for 1 hour or until it doubles in size. During this time, we'll make the streusel. In a bowl, we'll add flour, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, some ground cinnamon, and a small amount of ground sea salt. We'll stir until everything is blended before adding the butter cut into small, tiny pieces. Now, with our clean hand, or if you want, you can use a pastry cutter, we'll work the butter into the mixture until it resembles coarse sand, slightly damp, and evenly crumbly. We'll transfer it to the fridge until needed. About 1 to 1.5 hours later, our dough should be doubled in size. So, contrary to regular dough, we won't punch it, but simply scrape it off the bowl and drop it onto a lightly floured work surface. We'll gently stretch the dough out to create a rectangle of about 9 by 13. When we get pretty close to the size, we'll place it in a cake pan that has been lined with a greased parchment paper. We'll stretch it out so it covers the bottom of the pan. By the way, I have a tutorial on how to properly line a square pan with parchment paper, which is the same method for a rectangular pan. So to view it, click on the top right corner of your screen. Next, we'll place the sliced plums tightly together in a single layer. I like lining them up in rows. Now, the plums I'm using are damson, but Italian plums are certainly another delicious option. To cover the surface, it took 16 plums altogether, which is roughly 1.5 pounds. When this step is done, we'll cover again with a towel, return to its draft-free spot, and let it proof for 30 minutes. Alright, so half an hour later, we can continue with the recipe. Isn't it gorgeous or what? So we'll now add our streusel, spreading out evenly on top of the plums, making sure to cover them all. We'll transfer the cake to a 375-degree preheated oven and bake for 30 minutes before turning the heat to low boil and cook for 5 minutes or until the top is golden brown. We'll remove from the heat and transfer the pan onto a wire rack. We'll allow it to cool for 15 minutes before carefully lifting the cake from the pan. And my friends, this is our German plum cake, also called Pflaumenkuchen. With perfectly baked plums and a tasty streusel, this scrumptious European dessert is so delightful. It's a great recipe to enjoy this fall. I hope you give it a try soon, and be sure to visit clubfoodie.com for ingredient amounts, directions, and more info. Until next time, my friends, bon appétit!